years, the world believed that 24-year-old Sheena Bora had simply left India to start a new life abroad. Her friends believed it, her family repeated it. But the truth was far darker. Sheena had not disappeared. She had become the center of one of India's most shocking criminal investigations. And the person investigators say was at the heart of the mystery was someone she trusted more than anyone. Behind the glamorous world of Mumbai's corporate elite was a secret involving wealth, identity, and a family built on a devastating lie. This is the story of the Sheena Bora murder case. To understand how this mystery unfolded, we have to go back to the late 1980s in Guwahati, Assam, in northeastern India. Long before she became a high-profile media mogul, Indrani Mukerjea was known as Pori Bora. In 1989, at 18 years old, she gave birth to a daughter named Sheena, followed a year later by a son named Mikhail. When her relationship with their father ended, Indrani made a choice that would define the rest of her life. She left Guwahati to pursue her ambitions, leaving the toddlers in the care of her aging parents. To protect her reputation, her parents raised Sheena and Mikhail under a strict rule. They were told never to call Indrani mother. To the outside world, she was introduced merely as their older sister. Indrani went on to reinvent herself completely. She moved to Calcutta, married businessman Sanjeev Khanna, had another daughter, and eventually divorced. By the early 2000s, she arrived in Mumbai and set her sights on the top of India's media industry. There, she met Peter Mukerjea, the powerful CEO of Star India and one of Asia's most influential television executives. When Indrani and Peter married, they became the ultimate power couple. In 2007, they co-founded INX Media, securing hundreds of millions of dollars in foreign investments and filling the pages of business magazines. Indrani had built the perfect life. But behind the diamond jewelry and executive boardrooms was a ghost from her past she was desperate to keep hidden. While Indrani was climbing the corporate ladder, Sheena was growing up into an intelligent, ambitious young woman. In 2006, Sheena moved to Mumbai to attend college and build a career of her own, eventually landing a corporate job at Reliance Infrastructure. Indrani welcomed her into her social circle, but with one non-negotiable condition. Sheena had to maintain the lie. In front of executives, high society, and especially Peter Mukerjea, Sheena was strictly forbidden from revealing that Indrani was her mother. Sheena lived inside that secret for years. But then, everything changed. She met Rahul Mukerjea, Peter's son from his first marriage. Rahul and Sheena fell deeply in love. At first, everyone assumed it was just a romance between two young people in an extended step-family. Then, Sheena trusted Rahul with her biggest secret. She confessed that Indrani wasn't her sister at all. She was her biological mother. The revelation turned the family dynamic upside down. While Rahul and Sheena shared no blood relation, their relationship threatened to shatter Indrani's carefully curated persona. Indrani reacted with intense fury, demanding they end the relationship immediately. But Sheena refused to back down. By 2011, Sheena and Rahul had moved in together and got engaged. Sheena wanted financial independence, her own legal identity, and the freedom to marry Rahul openly. She was ready to destroy her mother's lies. And prosecutors allege that is precisely when Indrani decided to eliminate the threat. By April 2012, the confrontation between mother and daughter had reached a boiling point. Indrani quietly made discreet arrangements. She reached out to her ex-husband, Sanjeev Khanna, in Calcutta, asking him to fly to Mumbai. She also instructed her driver, Shyamvar Rai, to rent a sedan with dark-tinted windows. On the afternoon of April 24, 2012, Indrani reached out to Sheena with an unexpected olive branch. She offered to meet for dinner in the Bandra neighborhood to resolve their disputes, discuss property ownership, and give her blessing for the wedding. Sheena agreed. At 6:30 p.m., Rahul drove Sheena to Linking Road in Bandra. He watched as she stepped out of his car and walked over to a silver rental sedan. Inside sat Indrani, Sanjeev Khanna, and driver Shyamvar Rai. Rahul saw Sheena get into the vehicle and drive off. It was the last time anyone who cared about Sheena ever saw her alive. According to prosecution documents, the trap snapped shut within minutes of Sheena stepping into the vehicle. Sheena was handed water spiked with heavy sedatives. As the drugs took effect, the driver pulled into a quiet side street. Investigators alleged that Sanjeev Khanna held Sheena down from behind, while Indrani strangled her daughter in the back seat. They drove the rental car back to the underground garage of Indrani's apartment complex in Worli, leaving Sheena's body hidden on the floorboards overnight. Early the next morning, Indrani, Sanjeev, and Rai drove 80 kilometers out of Mumbai to Pen Tehsil in the Raigad district, a secluded area surrounded by dense forests. There, they placed Sheena's body into a suitcase, doused it with fuel, and set it ablaze in a ravine before driving back to the city. Around the same period, investigators examined claims from Sheena's younger brother, Mikhail. He told police he believed he had also been targeted after being invited to Mumbai by Indrani, but left the city after feeling suspiciously ill. By the morning of April 25th, Sheena Bora was gone, but her digital ghost was kept alive. When Rahul tried calling Sheena, her phone went straight to voicemail. Soon after, he received a breakup text from her number, claiming she was moving to the United States and wanted no further contact. Rahul didn't buy it. The phrasing was completely wrong. He confronted Indrani, who calmly assured him that Sheena had simply moved on with her life. When Rahul tried filing missing person reports, local authorities brushed him off, treating it as a private domestic dispute involving influential people. Determined to find the truth, Rahul began secretly recording every phone call he had with Indrani and Peter Mukerjea. Tapes where Indrani can be heard smoothly gaslighting him, insisting Sheena was safe abroad. To cover her tracks, Indrani forged Sheena's resignation letter to her employer and kept her mobile phone active for months to send fake messages. For 3 years, the deception worked flawlessly. For over 36 months, the case remained completely stone cold. Then, on August 21st, 2015, a routine police operation in the suburb of Santa Cruz broke the silence. Officers from the Car police station pulled over a white hatchback and arrested driver Shyamvar Rai for carrying an unlicensed pistol. Inside the interrogation room, Rai didn't just talk about the gun. Under intense questioning, he broke down and confessed to participating in a murder 3 years earlier. He laid out every detail of the night of April 24th, 2012, naming Indrani Mukerjea as the mastermind and Sanjeev Khanna as her accomplice. On August 25th, 2015, police stormed Indrani's luxury home and placed her under arrest. The news sent shockwaves across India. Television networks broadcast non-stop coverage as the glamorous media tycoon was led away in handcuffs, and the truth about her daughter was finally laid bare before the world. Following Rai's directions, forensic teams and detectives rushed back to the dense forest of Pen Tehsil. Unbeknownst to many, local villagers had actually reported finding charred human remains in that exact ravine back in May 2012. But due to administrative oversights at the time, no formal investigation had been opened. In 2015, Forensic experts excavated the site, recovering a skull, teeth, and skeletal fragments. Samples were rushed to top forensic laboratories where DNA was extracted and compared against reference samples from Indrani. The DNA results identified the remains as belonging to Sheena Bora. India's premier federal agency, the Central Bureau of Investigation, CBI, took over the case. Investigators analyzed cell tower data, proving that the suspects' phones moved together from Bandra to the Raigad forest on the night of the crime. The CBI also examined complex financial structures. Investigators focused on financial disputes involving properties and assets connected to Sheena, adding a potential financial motive to an already lethal mix of personal conflict and control. In November 2015, the CBI executed another high-profile arrest, Peter Mukerjea. Prosecutors charged the former TV executive as a co-conspirator, pointing to phone logs showing continuous calls between him and Indrani while the body was being disposed of. They argued Peter helped cover up the crime to protect his wealth and reputation. Peter strongly denied all charges, maintaining that he was completely manipulated and deceived by his wife. Meanwhile, driver Shamvar Rai became the prosecution's star witness, offering eyewitness testimony in exchange for a pardon. From behind bars, Indrani Mukerjea mounted a fierce defense. Her lawyers attacked the chain of custody of the forensic evidence and even put forward a dramatic claim that Sheena was still alive, alleging sightings in Kashmir and Nepal. However, no verifiable proof was ever produced, and the courts dismissed the claims. The legal process dragged on for years, slowed by thousands of pages of evidence and hundreds of witnesses. Peter Mukerjea was granted bail on medical grounds in 2020, and the couple officially divorced shortly after. In May 2022, after 6.5 years in custody, the Supreme Court of India granted bail to Indrani Mukerjea due to trial delays. Upon her release, Indrani returned to the spotlight, publishing a memoir and giving media interviews while continuing to maintain her innocence. The trial remains ongoing in Mumbai's special CBI court. The murder of Sheena Bora remains one of the most disturbing criminal sagas in modern history. It shattered the illusion that wealth, elegance, and power guarantee morality. It exposed a case where prosecutors argued that a daughter became the center of a deadly conflict involving secrets, control, and reputation, and where a young woman's entire existence could be erased to protect a lie. Sheena Bora was only 24 years old. She wanted independence, recognition, and the right to love freely. Courtrooms will eventually deliver their legal verdict, but the story of Sheena Bora serves as a haunting reminder of the ultimate cost of deception and the truth that refuses to stay buried.